Without slides. So my name is Sergey Dmytryshin. I'm from Ternopil. I am a software developer and of technical background, and it happened that for 5 years I have been doing the business, and I have the experience. I have been in the IT field for 11 years, and I develop the tools for interpreters and software developers. So we sell our software to the technological companies, Citrix, eBay, for example, some departments of Google company, but we deal with the translation industry through the translators. So our client buys our platform and invite the translations. So I'm from IT, have the experience, and we can talk about in this platform Crowdin. So we present the online platform for TMS and Kettle, and we sell it to the technological companies, and this is the experience of the clients who uses our platform. It's about more than 20,000 companies who did the localization through the website. So we started as a crowdsourcing platform, and Crowdin emerged from that, and after that we started do the classical TMS. So in my presentation, I would like to devote my presentation to what agencies lacks in the localization process. Please raise your hands who do the localization process. So I know that Yuri does it. So I expected here the audience of freelancers and some people who don't do the localization. So here's the list of our clients who use our platform. You may spot some familiar names. Google or Telefonica. This is the company from Fortune 500. Okay. So I would like to do a kind of show instead of the dull presentation. Well, for you not to be boring, and I would like to tell you this story. Last year I have a man hitchhiked me, and I stopped, and the man told me the story that he had the problem. He is growing pigs, and he has the following problem. Before the new year he had a contract, he had to sell the pigs for 41 hryvnias per kilo, and he prepared the pork, and the buyer, the client, told that, you know, this is 40 hryvnias per kilogram, and he complained it was bad because all business was built on this price, 41 hryvnias per kilo, and all the business was ruined because he won't be able to finance it further. And at that time I read about the strategy of Blue Ocean. So Blue Ocean strategy, do you know about this? Okay, and I started realizing, and the first thing was that the classical business we do, including the translation agencies, they don't do business. In fact, they have the process, established process, and they do what as everybody does, and it came to my mind to inform this person about the blue ocean strategy. Okay, so the same idea was used in the violet cow, the classical idea. So people who lived in the city and they travel in the fields of France and they see beautiful fields with cows. In 3 days, none of them liked cows because they got used to them, to this view. And the author tells that it's in business, so the businesses look to the client. This is the client's view on business because they treat them as something ordinary, something. So they do it. They do as everybody does, and they look like this cows. And I didn't understand the concept, the notion of this, and this was idea. If a cow was, if they met the violet cow, they were excited because it's very new to them. So here's having the idea about blue ocean strategy. I understood that what said meant talking about violet cow. It is the same idea. So where you have a lot of sharks, if you're a small shark, everything is bad to you because you cannot find food for you, and there are lots of sharks around you, and you can catch the fish, the first task, and the second you can escape from other sharks because they may eat you. So, and if we understand business as a red ocean, it can be red where lots of sharks, and we have blue ocean where no sharks at all. So, and for business it means to sell things where clients are ready to pay, but there are very little competition. So in the case of pigs, I offered this, gave advice to do this, to this person to do the organic meat, because nobody do this in our area. So if you cannot grow, if you cannot grow meat, can't sell meat for 40 hryvnias, sell it for 90. If you cannot compete with lots of sharks, don't compete with them. It is not obligatory organic because there are lots of different organic companies, but certainly with the example with translation agencies, as I have been mentioned, we have 20,000 clients, and every client has its own agency, and they're almost the same. We don't have any organic, we don't have a violet cow. So we have some innovative approaches, we have some mature with a very good, brilliant reputation, but we don't have any agencies which can produce wow, can be wow. So, and I'd like to talk about agencies which do the localization, but they have something, they don't have something for this quality. So probably this is the thing you will do in the future. So I can tell you that I haven't seen the companies selling such services yet. When you have a technology buyer, for example, a company who develop software. So let's, as an example, let's speak about Kaspersky antivirus company. So, and let us speak about the small company which develops mobile applications, how it works now. So they do it, they send you via email the files. So I'm not talking about agency. Agency can find, outsource the freelancer. So it works, but in the right agency, we should prepare the client for new school. It's not very effective to do this. So probably the client developed the program, the software, it was translated, and this is an old school approach. So as Microsoft, they did Windows for half a year. After that they translated it for half a year, and now the practice is different. You can use any online tool and you have new buttons. You don't have any updates, but there is a new approach, a new trend in the software support, and such clients don't don't use some old school agencies, old school approach. So sending files, it's not a really issue. The issue is the small clients don't have expertise in the preparing for localization. How the procedure looks like: the software developers collected all the text and sent them to the software translation company, and before they start writing these texts, they need to have some trainings how to do it. Before we start our company, we started writing the texts, and in reality, so it wasn't a good text. For example, you deleted one file because it cannot be translated into Russian, because the gender flexions, so the endings, and there are several things we need to communicate to the client before he started spending his money or her money. So this is not the best experience, I suppose, because the client won't be happy, because if he gets the letter that you don't have a really good translation. So it was when I thought about what company should sell together with service. And we started thinking about ourselves, and we started we thought that we sell only products, and the happiest clients we have those who got not only products. They in fact are not interested in the product, they're interested in the problem solutions, and they got from us product, process, and such things as continuous support. So I'm just getting back to the issues which should be solved together with the product. So expertise and the preparation. So expertise in the preparation of the application before it is localized. It should be quite a good text regarding marketing, and you can tell that you will be the localization manager for us. There are few companies with localization manager as a position. For example, Kaspersky Lab maybe have it, but so if a company is smaller than 50, less than 50 people, they don't have the localization expertise, I'm sure. So selling services to localization managers, we are sure that we do the competitive advantage to them. So judging by our company, what we didn't have the process to review the texts after the software developers, and after that we digged a bit deeper. So, and we do the text revision, source text review. So there is PR, and they communicate everything through the application view. They need to check is this message correct, and they need to be taught how to do this review properly. There are several techniques, several procedures for them, and for you as an agency it's very good to have this training on common practices and to understand how this process looks like, and then selection of the purpose languages, target languages. They don't know how to select them properly because they cannot do this. They think that they behave as a BMW company. So if they go to the Polish market, they translate all the text into Polish. But in the software application, we did our own research and we analyzed different reviews, and I can share it after my presentation with you. So the translation company translates when this car is already on sale in the country to boost, to increase the sales, and you need to be a very big company to do this first with the translation, and after that to give the product. So first people do the market prop, and after that they boost their sales. So the selection of languages, the translation agency can help in that case. So
in some technical stuff like subs localization, you should explain to client, and it's a very dramatic moment. I can see it all the time in mobile, because everybody is accustomed that mobile applications are multilingual. Even when my mom is downloading application from the market, and Google automatically translates the description. So if she downloads and the text is not in Ukrainian, first of all she deletes it, and after that she puts a small star. Maybe it's not that aggressively, but that's the way people behave quite often, because for mobile that's a priority. First of all, it should be in my language. That's fine that in Windows not all the programs are in mother tongue, but in mobile it's expected. And mobile, and everybody translates mobile, but they forgot that if I buy yogurt, for example, and the label on it is in Ukrainian, I can call support service and I expect them to speak Ukrainian. Of course, I'm not expecting them to speak Polish, for example. It's not natural. I bought you a product with a description in Ukrainian, and the same with mobile application, because people write to the support services in the language they can see application is in. And even when they make marketing after translation, it should be multilingual as well. If there is an agency, for example, there should be recommendation how to support the clients in the future, how to make the sales then, because even if the company is not big, you become multilingual. Testing, I wanted to tell you technical part of the testing, because I could see many times how translation bureaus were making testing. They just look how does it look on the screen of their mobile, but software developers' expectations are different on testing. And here on the screen you can see what we discussed 2 presentations ago about money. Part of these things are connected to money directly. First clause, for example, time to release. Sorry, that is technical definition. But time to market for software developers is critical. You understand that if BMW makes some new feature for the car, and if the competitor didn't know about it, in 6-12 months the competitors will have the same. If Apple makes some new feature, I mean some new possibilities of the application, Google can copy it in 3 days or in 1 week. And the company are worried about how quickly then can put changes and improvements. But in reality, it's very often that it takes just 15 minutes to program the button, but to send it to the clients, to production, to such application as Gmail, it can take up to 2 weeks, because this application is in 40 languages already. Development is for 40 minutes, but after that you should involve minimum 40 people. You need to send them a letter, and after that there is some holiday in China. You wait for this holiday to pass, or you look for the translator. So we had a client one time, and his position in the company, his task was to reduce this time to market. They invented the system where software developers were writing the text in the moment of code. So the software developer is writing the software, and he's adding to the third system at the same time to let the manager to send it for translation at the same time. Because you understand, if software developer is working on the new possibilities of software, it's too long. So what did they propose? Let's start straight away. Do you understand what I mean? That's not advertisement, you won't buy it now, but we automate it in our system, and we have deep integration to the development process, and every time when developer adds one line, as a minimum we have it in our cloud system, and after that manager decides translator will translate it now, or maybe it will be in some iterations, not to interrupt what translator is doing. That's what your client is worried about. If the next time your customer will come to your mobile app, you should add it to your services. In our case, we had big IT company from California once. Maybe I won't describe you every clause because it would be boring. Context translation of web applications. I've seen so much of them. People are different, and their ways to do it were so sophisticated sometimes, and there are technologies just to translate it in context. In reality, it doesn't work every time, because translator is accustomed to the list of words, and I'm ready to work with this list of words. They're not ready to switch the dialogues or to do some other complicated actions. But the first part of the application should be translated in context, that's for sure. When I talked to localization manager of Microsoft here in Ukraine, they told me about the project was the first obvious visible part of product is translated by local offices. At least start button was translated in Kyiv office. I mean, they had a meeting, and after that they decided how this button will look like. It was the translator, because translators are always super expert in linguistical experts. They know where super comma should be, but they're not always experts in the field they're translating, especially the software. If you need to translate the program for architect, for example, you can be super linguist, but the translation won't be that quality as if architect would translate it himself, especially if he uses this program. And to automate the download of screenshot and connection of screenshot to the text, that's what client should integrate into his company, to his process. API, I can't, maybe you can't live without it anymore. I can't imagine the company making translation without having the way to send the files to and back. That is a kind of atavism already. Collaboration, if you know there is a Slack noise everywhere. In IT industry, everybody is a fan of Slack. If they don't do it anymore, come on, it's 2016. Start doing it, and they're selling it as a new communication tool. It's a kind of chat, but not exactly. At the same time, it is a chat with manager, and integration to such system as Slack. Slack integration is competitive advantage. Your client will be happy if his team can work with the team of translators through the system. Because the system is not very aggressive as a chat, because chat is when they write you and you should respond straight away, and if you don't reply, it means something's broken. But Slack allows to communicate like via email. Email doesn't require instant reply. Integration to the CVS. If your client asks you, you can ask me. And CMS connectors. That's what client might ask you. I'm not sure in what I'm offering you at the moment. I didn't sell these services, but I could see that our clients were not happy because their agency couldn't do these things. I'm not sure is it possible to sell it, and if it's possible to sell it, how large scope is it? Is it possible to earn millions on this idea? Maybe you can't, but I don't know the scope. But I can advise you the most efficient way to make proof of concept and validate ideas through internet, because internet changes the way business is making. In our case, when we validate new idea, the most efficient way is to sell it before it exists. The correct idea is to sell it first, and if you can sell it, start doing it. In internet, it can be the very nice website, the netforest.com. There is one more wonderful site, Template Monster. Template Monster was created by the guys from Mariupol. It's better to buy from them because for $15 they'll make you very professional one-page website. It's better than Google. And for 1,000 hryvnia I will buy advertisement in AdWords. The idea is, if you start offering to your clients localization or services, or localization agile services, it's not clear do you have clients or not. Go to AdWords and have a look. Are there requests? Are people looking for this kind of products? And if they do, in which format? If they do, this is a good news. And the second, create just one-page website by AdWords. It means it doesn't matter how cool are your competitors. Your advertisement always will be higher in the search. And if there is a form, send request on your webpage, and you have requests, this is a good news always, and you can check the business idea like that till lunchtime. For example, you can have your morning coffee, and at the same day, by the lunchtime, you will know, will you be able to sell localization services in Russia or translation to Russian in USA. As an example, I can tell you details later. And you have 5 minutes left, and that's my email. The most important for me, was it interesting? Yes, it was nice. I was worried because nobody came. Sergey, thank you very much for your presentation. My name is Terikh Alexander. I'm from Intex company. Why there are not enough people? Because most of translation bureaus and translators themselves work according to your terminology in atavism conditions. And we had a case, I'll tell you about it briefly, and after that my question. One of the companies moved to Agile in 2015, at the end of 2015, and they asked us for this process. Before, we were collecting reviews during the daytime. During the night, they send them to us. Next day, we were translating them, send them back, and then decided to make it before lunchtime. By the night, we would translate it, and they could publish them straight away. In this way, the international customers could get orders 24 hours early, and the difficulties we had to be localization managers, the person should understand which translation would be better for this task, or translators themselves should decide at 2 a.m. and 1 a.m. till 4 a.m. to take this decision. So these new conditions ask for new approaches, and it's not clear what to do with them. And if you are selling translation services, in what way you arrange the work of Agile with the clients who are living in other countries with other GMT time? How do you agree to participate in this project, and how do you sell it to your client? I'm not sure I can answer you because we are not selling services. We are just technicians. We just make the program. In big companies, maybe there are no problems with that because the pool of resources are wide, but I don't remember the cases when client was asking something till night, for example. And the client I told you about, who had physically new position in the company, they reduced the period of time from 2 weeks to 3 days to translate something into 40 languages. That is the first part. And one more important clause, according to our experience, the clients always trying to find the translator who was making the main part of this project. If I was translated into Ukraine all your application, they even agreed to wait for half a day more or a day more to let me finish this renewed text. And Craft maybe is also adapted to that system, because working in this time, the application was renewed automatically. It came to translator by some channel convenient for him. He goes to the same environment where he was working 1 week ago, the same definitions, the same conditions, and there are three new documents. And if he completed the project just some time ago, he remembers it. And very often it is paid better than normal work, because as you understand, nobody will be happy translating just 3 lines a day. So I can't answer your question completely. Maybe we can have a look. And we have 700,000 registered translators together with volunteers, because before we were making crowdsourcing, you remember I told you before. And we can make the research, this kind of researches, and it's profitable for everybody, and it is appeal to everybody. If you have ideas what we can investigate, please send me an email, because it's interesting for me as well. Because in the large scale, we really can investigate something when people are living in different time zones, for example.
So I'd like to point your attention, and please, one more question. It's connected when the translation is done very fast. It's very important when we take the translation, and Sergey Sant, if you can remember, talked about that on a previous UTIC conference. So we can send this this translation task to the lawyer, and this lawyer did the previous project, but now we're on the process of forming new command, and we understand that new team, and we understand that we don't understand these three lines, where they came from and where they go, and it leads to reclamations, to claims. So this is the first. And the second, when the translator does this job, him or herself, there are typos, the violations on tags, and the quality control needs to do this, quality assurance needs to do this, and there are should have several people in place, and the system is cloud. Can you provide such chains for your clients? Can you assist them to, so it's not the form of you? I understand. Yes, this is the point we had debates about inside every client. When every client comes, he has almost a similar requirement. He tells that he has a file, and we ask the client, can you divide it into the projects, because you have a website, you have a specification and some legal issues, and we came to the conclusion that the client should do it himself or herself. And if you have very severely chunked segments, so we need to underline that, emphasize the fact that you have some additional workflow step, and we need to attract more people to do this. So, and if you do this project, you can establish the separate project on that. And we put this procedure in the following way, that we establish the workflow for the separate project, and after that we ask client to divide it. So, and the client understands that this is a separate type of content, and there's parts, for example, menu and application, can be divided very easily into two projects. So first of all, we need to decide which workflow should be applied to this or that content, and this is task of the client. So in this case, we need to have the quality assurance team. So thank you very much.